It's Tuesday the 19th of April 2016 and I'm at Strood in Kent to walk a further section of the Saxon Shore Way long distance footpath. Now joining the route of the Saxon Shore Way, the walk will be heading over the bridge over the Medway. Now on the bridge crossing the Medway, in the distance there is the M2 motorway bridge across the Medway, and over there Rochester Castle. On the other side of the Medway, Saxon Shore Way turns right along this road. And there's a decent view back to the Medway Bridge, the bridge linking Strood and Rochester. This is going to be a largely urban section of the Saxon Shore Way. More views of Rochester Castle, built in Norman times. Saxon Shore Way now turns left up Baker's Walk, up there. From Baker's Walk, more great views of Rochester Castle. Some of the castle walls. Saxon Shore Way now turns left down here along Bowley Hill, and to the left astounding views of Rochester Castle. Now we come to Rochester Cathedral, where the walk turns right down there. Now passing this quite interesting old arch. In the opposite direction from the arch is a good view of the Rochester Cathedral. We now enter an area of parkland known as the Vines, and we take that path to the opposite side of the Vines. And there's a view of Restoration House, where Charles II stayed on his way to London to be crowned king after exile in France. After exiting the Vines, Saxon Shore Way heads along East Row. At this junction we proceed straight ahead up Gravel Walk, up there. Gravel Walk leads into St Peter's Path, where Saxon Shore Way continues. I told you this walk was urban. Now into King Street, and there's the Rising Sun pub. Saxon Shore Way now enters this area of parkland and takes the path that you can see on the right of this clip. The path continues ahead through this pleasant parkland. The route leads to Fort Pitt Hill with great views across the Medway. At last there's a further Saxon Shore Way waymark, and the route is along that path now, up there. The path in the last clip leads to a main road which is crossed, and then Saxon Shore Way heads down Hammond Hill. We now turn right into High Street, Chatham. We now turn left into Medway Street along here. We pass the bus station in Chatham. Further on, we pass this church. And opposite the church, there's this statue of Earl Kitchener. That's part of Chatham Dockyard. It was closed in 1984, the dockyard, for naval purposes. As you can see, we're on a tedious main road at the moment. We now turn right from the main road. Up there. The walk continues ahead along a series of roads from the path in the last clip. The road ends and we continue across this open area known as the Great Lines. Decent views. At the edge of the park we turn left along this road, Marlborough Road. We now turn right down here, and ahead it becomes the pedestrianised Gillingham High Street. Now in the pedestrianised Gillingham High Street. And now at Gillingham Station and the end of today's walk along the Saxon Shore Way.